Are you worried about your GFR levels dropping and how it might affect your kidney health? Did you know that according to the National Kidney Foundation, improving your GFR by even 10 points can significantly enhance your overall well-being? In this video, I'll share an incredible remedy that could help you gain back 20 points in just 12 weeks. Imagine the peace of mind and energy boost you'll feel with healthier kidneys. Stick with me until the end. You won't want to miss these life-changing insights that can protect your kidneys and improve your health. When telling CKD patients that they can truly improve if their insurance doesn't deny them the most basic treatments, and if their doctor doesn't forget to refer them to someone who can start them on a kidney diet plan. This is based on a groundbreaking study involving 136 patients with stage 3 and 4 CKD. These patients achieved unbelievable results. In fact, as we can clearly see, at the beginning of this study, these patients were averaging stage 4 of CKD, with a GFR around 22. Now, let's clarify this. Patients with a GFR of 22 are typically advised by doctors to seriously start considering dialysis. But these patients weren't advised to prepare for dialysis. Instead, they were encouraged to try a little-known herbal remedy, a remedy that restored kidney function. The results were truly unbelievable. It's hard to believe that even the researchers who wrote this study expected such an incredible outcome. 20 GFR points restored in just 12 weeks. Especially considering they achieved this result in so many patients. So, let's take a look at how they did it. This is the seed of Nigella sativa, sometimes called black cumin or black seed. Have you ever heard of this remedy? Nigella sativa is not a new remedy. It has been used in traditional medicine for centuries. Interestingly, modern science has recognized many of the benefits of this tiny seed, especially for diabetes. In fact, according to large systematic studies published in reputable medical journals, the results on improving fasting glucose levels from Nigella sativa are quite remarkable. In one of the studies, patients experienced up to a 16% reduction in fasting glucose levels. But that's just part of what makes this remedy so magical. Now, what's even more interesting about black seed is that it has been tested in a study I mentioned at the beginning of this video as a way to restore kidney function. In fact, the study was conducted on 1,037 patients with progressive stage CKD, chronic kidney disease, not to prove that a low-protein diet combined with conservative care can improve GFR, glomerular filtration rate, in stage 3 and 4 CKD patients. No, they were not conducting studies to prove that anymore. It is already a known fact that CKD patients can improve if they receive full treatment and a low-protein diet. Therefore, the goal of this study was to prove that patients could improve even more when using Nigella sativa. Can you improve your kidney function by supplementing with Nigella sativa? The best way to answer this question is to look at this recent study. This is a randomized controlled, open-label, and parallel group study. This means it is a well-structured, thorough, and ultimately very reliable study. As we can see, this study was conducted on 136 patients. These patients were divided into two groups. The control group received only conservative management and keto compounds, while the experimental group received the same treatment as the control group plus Nigella sativa, this magical black seed. They all improved, both the experimental group and the control group, and in a very significant way. As we can see, this is shocking for two reasons. First, because all the patients in this study improved. Achieving significant improvement in such a large number of patients in such a short period of time is extremely noteworthy. So, not only did the patients who received Nigella sativa improve, even those who were just started on a kidney diet improved, which also proves that none of them received full treatment before the study began. They recruited 136 patients, and none of them received all the proper medical care. Now, think about this. The second reason this study shocks me is because the patients who took Nigella sativa improved even more. As we can see, the patients who also received Nigella sativa had better kidney function compared to those who did not. How much can you improve with Nigella sativa? Let's dive into how to use Nigella sativa, its effects, dosage, possible interactions, and everything else. Let me tell you about a funny twist in this study. As you can see, not only did these researchers save people from needing dialysis. The results of this study are astonishing. These researchers didn't just save people from dialysis, but also gave them back their lives with practical and effective treatments. Now, let's look at the rest of the study to see what you can do to improve your kidney function by 20 points without having to set up a GoFundMe for dialysis. Now, you might wonder what kind of treatment was applied to these patients to help all of them get better. It's an important question because what worked for them might work for you too. In this study, because these patients were really poor, they focused on the basics, starting with telmisartan. This is a common ARB. Most CKD patients have used ARBs or ACE inhibitors, so I won't go too deep into this. But remember, ARBs and ACE inhibitors are very helpful for patients with a GFR between 60 and 30, and you should always keep your blood pressure below 130/80. Clearly, not everyone does that, otherwise, the patients in this study wouldn't have improved. Now, another thing they mention here is torsemide, a diuretic. While most CKD patients use ARBs or ACE inhibitors, diuretics are less common but can still help a lot, especially if high blood pressure is due to fluid retention or if there is edema. So yes, they can be an essential part of treatment. Now, in this study, they did more than most doctors typically do. In fact, the patients were also prescribed iron, which, along with erythropoietin, is the main treatment for anemia. So if you have CKD and don't want to end up on dialysis, consider monitoring your hemoglobin and ferritin levels and ask your doctor for the appropriate prescriptions. But never assume that your doctor has covered all of this for you. Anemia is one of the most underdiagnosed complications of CKD. These patients were also prescribed calcium, mainly used as a phosphate binder, and vitamin D3. Keto compounds were also prescribed for everyone. Keto compounds are special amino acids designed to protect patients on a kidney diet from the risk of malnutrition. They forgot to mention this in the study, but I believe they also prescribed B vitamins. So, this is what a comprehensive treatment plan for kidney disease looks like. It's about covering all aspects and leaving nothing to chance. But let's be honest, when the alternative is dialysis, wouldn't you want to do everything you can to delay or even avoid it? Dealing with CKD is complex. But here's the thing, you don't have to navigate it alone. If you want someone to thoroughly review your medications, diet, and overall treatment plan, and create a diet and strategy that's 100% tailored to your needs, let me know in the comments. I'm ready to help you. I'm here to assist you. Through telemedicine consultations, people like you, knowledgeable, proactive, and determined to make meaningful changes in their health, work with me. With my guidance, they not only manage CKD but take control of it. If you're ready for a plan tailored to your unique needs, a plan that's easy to follow and effective, there's no better time to reach out. Leave me a comment now. Now, one more interesting thing we can learn from this study is how they approach diabetes. So let's talk about diabetes specifically and how the researchers in this study handled it. they decided to do something widely controversial. Brace yourself, they put everyone on a plant-based diet with little protein. Yes, every patient only received 0.3 to 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram of ideal body weight, including diabetic patients. A keto diet influencer might faint at their meat plate right now. In most kidney diet studies, they separate diabetic and non-diabetic patients. Why? Because their diets usually differ. We give diabetic patients a little more protein to control blood sugar, right? But these researchers said, no, give everyone the same diet, we know it will work. And those diabetic patients? They improved. Their glucose levels went down, their symptoms disappeared, and their kidney function improved. Now, I know what you're thinking, wait, is this even legal? Can you really put diabetic patients on a low-protein, high-carb diet just to save them from dialysis? If you ask the researchers that exact question, they might just tell you to read the paper and maybe add a line like, "You'll thank me later." Their message is very simple: you don't need to limit carbs, you just need to understand which foods are raising your glucose and cut calories if necessary. The advice might sound blunt, but it's much better than the alternative, living in a world where the only vegetable allowed is butter. Just one side, and there's no way to improve with CKD if diabetes is not controlled. The fact is, preventing the causes of kidney damage is always the first step to improving kidney function. If you have diabetes, there will be no improvement unless we keep your fasting glucose levels and HbA1c in the right range. However, many people still think that managing diabetes means cutting carbs. That's why when I talk about a plant-based diet, many are still confused. Here's the key: patients in this study didn't just eat carbs, they increased their carb intake, and they still improved. So, you're not doomed to live a life of just meat and despair if you have diabetes. The reality is, cutting carbs without cutting calories is like trimming your toenails without washing your feet, it doesn't address the real issue. On the other hand, cutting calories without cutting carbs? Now we're talking, that's what really matters for diabetes. Next time someone tries to convince you that fruit is the enemy, just smile and say, sure, but maybe focus on portion size instead of condemning apples. Back to Nigella sativa, the magic black seed. As we saw in this study, patients who also took Nigella sativa gained an average of 6 more GFR points in 12 weeks. So, all patients improved, but those who also used Nigella sativa showed even more significant improvement. For Nigella sativa to work, the rest of your treatment should already be in place. So, the question is, how should you use Nigella sativa? You will find recommendations on how to use it in the study we just reviewed and many other medical resources. You'll see the dosage, tips, and everything. Now, Nigella sativa is very easy to find and quite safe. The patients who should be cautious with it are those taking anticoagulants and immunosuppressive drugs, as any drug could interact with these. And because Nigella sativa also lowers blood sugar, if you have diabetes, make sure you don't lower your blood sugar too much. Anyway, it really seems to help, so I would definitely consider Nigella sativa as part of your treatment. If you're looking for effective ways to take care of your kidneys, don't forget to check out the tips in this video and start applying them today. If you found the information helpful, please hit like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching, and wishing you all good health, with strong and healthy kidneys.